Good morning, everybody, and I welcome you to another session of our program, which is a run-up to Sri Aurobindo's 150th birth anniversary, which is on the 15th August 2022. Before we start, I request you all to observe a 30-second silence to invoke our Divine Mother for the session today. Thank you all, and I welcome to our session today on integral psychology and emotional intelligence by Dr. Kavita Desai. A small introduction about Dr. Kavita Desai. She is a BHMS, MA Psychology, certified clinical hypnotherapist, teacher in clinical hypnosis, transpersonal psychologist. She's been in practice since 2004, and her focus is on emotional and mental well-being, integrating powerful modalities of hypnosis. Her interests include Sri Aurobindo's integral psychology, transpersonal psychology, spiritual aspects of existence, emotional intelligence, empathy in action, consciousness, and mindfulness. So I hand it over to Dr. Kavita Desai to take over the session from here on.
Thank you, Yamini, for the introduction. My topic today is integral psychology and emotional intelligence. We are trying to understand how to apply integral psychology to our fundamental emotional responses as preparation for ascent towards the divine. So why emotional intelligence? Because this is the fundamental place of our daily challenges in life. It is the playground of vital mind. If we can apply these principles of integral psychology, bringing in the changes in our practical life, it would help us prepare for the ascent demanded from us to receive the descent of the divine. So this is a chart which has been presented here. It's a module invented by Daniel Goleman. So he says that emotional intelligence broadly classifies into 4 aspects, which is emotional self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and interpersonal relationship management. So emotional self-awareness also classifies into 3 different possibilities, which is again emotional self-awareness, self-confidence, and accurate assessment of a sense. Self-management, under self-management comes self-control, trustworthiness, conscientiousness, adaptability, and achievement orientation, and able to take initiations. Further, we look at the classification of social awareness. Social awareness is empathy, service in orientation, and organizational awareness. And if we understand relationship management, are we able to help others develop themselves? How do we influence ourselves in this society, in our interpersonal relationship? What kind of communication we hold? How do we manage and handle conflicts? What kind of leadership we show in not only in our professional life, but in personal life as well. and teamwork, collaboration, and how much of the change catalyst am I being? And how do I help people develop emotional bonds? So this is the module in which we are trying to apply to interpersonal psychology and see how we can bring that higher order into our day-to-day life and apply it to our emotional intelligence. So again, 4 emotional intelligence skills are self-awareness, which is mostly intrapersonal. It is our inner relationship with ourselves. I am beginning here with who am I, not from the higher order perspective of Ramana Maharishi, but here who am I is to understand myself in terms of my strengths, my limitations, our behavioral responses, our attitudes, our beliefs. Are we aware of this at all times? Very often, we will surprise ourselves in many ways if we start applying this thinking to our day-to-day interactions. It would bring us to an understanding that there is a lot more potential that we have within ourselves, which we are not even able to comprehend. This could help us develop faith in ourselves and confidence in ourselves, and help us understand and appreciate our uniqueness, which is the prerequisite for the path to divine. And therefore, the emotional intelligence module of self-awareness helps us when we apply this to a day-to-day interaction in day-to-day life. It helps us open ourselves to the higher path that we all aspire for. Coming to self-regulation or self-management is also our relationship with ourselves, and that's why intrapersonal. Once we become aware of our emotions, it requires one to regulate and manage it well. It is not suppressing. It means expressing it appropriately with growth mindset. People who can actually do that are flexible and adaptable to change, are good in diffusing conflicts. They are also highly responsible individuals. How would we like to improve self-regulation? So some few of the things which actually helps us improve self-regulation is mindfulness of thoughts and our feelings. If we are mindful, we are able to channel it more productively. Looking at challenges as opportunities, recognizing that you have a choice how you want to respond in any given situation so that we do not feel victims. Improving communication skills, practicing to change thought patterns and emotional responses that are our habits. We are all habitual beings. We all have some or the other form of habits inculcated in us. So becoming aware of those habits, becoming adaptable and flexible, and putting an effort to change those patterns or break those patterns. Now, self-regulation here has multiple submodalities. One of them is self-control. So are we able to reject all that comes in the way to the growth? At a personal level, at professional level, and at the social level, if we apply this idea of rejection that Sri Aurobindo mentions in our day-to-day lives, it's the first step to the evolution of what integral psychology would want us to do, what Sri Aurobindo means by saying rejection. Trustworthiness is about faith. Do I have faith in myself, in others, and in the divine? Conscientiousness, am I sincere enough in my expressions and in my approaches, in my day-to-day life, in my everyday interaction with everybody that I come across? Am I sincere enough? If I get sincere there, then that sincerity can evolve and help me evolve to the higher order of being. Am I being adaptable enough? Am I able to let go? Can I say, thy will over my will? Am I able to truly surrender to all the things that are happening in and around me at any given point in time? Once we start doing that in a day-to-day life, it helps us surrender then to the higher existence. Achievement orientation. Do I have growth mindset? Am I able to take feedback in a positive way and act upon it? Am I working towards my evolution in professional, in personal life, and as well as from spiritual point of view? Am I taking initiative? Am I aspiring enough or falling into inertia, the inconscient? Social skills are interpersonal skills that we all need to exist in society, to be functional in society. So being able to interact with others allows us to build meaningful relationships and the ability to put emotional understanding in our daily interactions and communications. Some of the ways that we can improve upon that is asking open-ended questions, not being assumptive or presumptive when talk is going on, when communication is happening, and suspending all and every kind of judgments while interacting. These are the few approaches that we can use to be able to have good communication with people around us. Other important aspect of the social skill is empathy, knowing and truly understanding that one is all and all is one, and conducting from that knowledge and service orientation. Am I able, when I serve all, am I serving the one in the all? Relationship management is also an interpersonal skill. What is the value addition that I'm bringing? Am I bringing the whole of myself? Am I inspiring enough? As in value addition, what I mean is, if I'm a teacher, am I just being a teacher, or am I getting something more of that aspect into whatever I'm doing? If I am a doctor, am I just going to be a doctor and prescribe something or hold the hand of the patient until they recover? If I'm a mother, am I just focusing on basic requirements for nurturing, or am I bringing the extra of being more than a mother to my child? What is the kind of value addition that is happening is what we can ask ourselves to convert those relationships into more meaningful relationships. With this module, I would like to now move on to vital mind, because this is the place where we all fall and falter most of the times. So my vital mind indeed is very vital and has crucial role in our day-to-day interactions. It is the most critical station in evolution to higher minds, because this is the place of emotions and the place where we trip and fall and falter the most. We are here attempting to understand and evolve through this aspect of mind, as mentioned in integral psychology, by applying emotional intelligence as a tool. Now, vital mind is dynamic and not rationalizing. It pertains to dynamic will, action, and desire, preoccupied with force, achievements, satisfaction, possessions, enjoyments, sufferings, giving and taking, growth and expansion, success and failure, good and ill fortune, etc. It does have its utility in humans, but it acts in random ways without discipline and focus most of the time. Basic function of vital mind then would be to build, plan, imagine, arrange things according to the life situations, desire and will to possess, and will to power. It uses thought for service and not reason. And when it reasons, it only just justifies its needs. It imposes its own reason and not of discrimination. Most of our decision making is mostly emotional. It never comes from pure thinking ever. Any decisions that we make, we might think that we are reasoning, but there is always an underlying emotion which becomes the motivating factor for us. Now, what are the qualities of this vital mind? Qualities of vital mind are: it is not satisfied with the actualities, with what is there. It is always wanting to seek possibilities to extend its limits. This is where all the inventions that we can think of could be applied. It is a playground for power and profit. This is where reward system as motivation comes into picture. When we reward somebody for something, we are only strengthening the vital mind. We need to be aware of this in our daily interaction. Not satisfied with physical and objective and seeks subjective pleasures. Now, further, if we divide vital mind into different aspects, there are 4 aspects. First is mental. Aspiration for the divine would come from here, overcoming inertia, becoming motivated, and truly aspirational has to begin from here. Where is this located? It's located between throat and heart, which is between Vishuddhi and Anahat Chakra. And where the vital mental expresses is through thought, speech, imagination, ideas, notions, and beliefs. Beliefs about our desires, our emotions, sensations. What do I believe in greatness? What is greatness for me? Happiness, sadness, success, etc. So that's about the mental vital. Moving on to emotional vital is where faith in the divine comes from, developing trustworthiness, which again, if we go back to emotional intelligence module in self-regulation and self-management, we mentioned that trustworthiness is an important quality. To bring that quality into a day-to-day interaction, to be able to move to this aspect of vital mind and evolve from here. Its location is heart, but heart is a double center and it is located into the front, not the behind where the psychic is. And it corroborates with the anahat. It expresses itself through love, joy, sorrow, hatred that we experience in our daily lives. Central mind is the seat from heart to navel, where Manipur chakra is centered, and that is where our will, that is where all the kind of will comes from. Will to surrender to divine would also come from there. Becoming adaptable, becoming flexible, which we again go back to emotional intelligence module. Adaptability is one of the important qualities. And if we can make an attempt to adapt to a day-to-day interactions, then we would be impacting this level of a vital mind as well, and which will help us evolve further into higher minds. It is located in Manipur, as I said, and it expresses through ambitions, pride, fear, love for fame, attraction, repulsion, desires, and passions. Moving there to much lower mind, rejection of petty things. The rejection that Sri Aurobindo talks about, it comes from here, the lower part of mind. And this is where self-regulation and self-management and self-control comes from, where we need to reject all things which are not in our ultimate good, which is not good for our growth. This is located between Swadhisthana and Muladhara, and it expresses through small desires, feelings that makes greater part of our life. Example, food, sex, small likings, dislikes, likings, vanity, quarrels, love for praise, anger, guilt, little worries of all kinds. Physical mind, left to itself, would be like, then we would be like animals, accepting all actualities alike and aspire for nothing beyond. It is when vital mind comes in with its demands and disturbs the inertia of physical mind, creates dissatisfaction, unrest, seeking something more, quest for new worlds to conquer, intense and persistent desire to exceed the boundaries created by circumstances. Therefore, vital mind does has its role in the evolution that we are experiencing in a day-to-day life. Mental life of man is often enslaved to vital and seeks to satisfy through mind. But when man interest expands to mental things from vital, he becomes an adventurer, inventor, fighter for ideas, champion for the cause, reformist, activist, revolutionaries, visionaries, artists, poets, creativists. Therefore, vital mind is kinetic and a great force in working of the evolutionary nature. Having understood this, let's understand how to purify the vital mind. Our entire being should be demanding of the divine and not the illumined mind only. We can attempt to experience that divine in our reality through all of this. Emotional, central, and lower mind generally hang in together in knotted interaction, influencing the mental mind. It hooks on to the likings and dislikings, emotional attractions and repulsions, which give in a way of intelligent will and makes us often slaves of vital mind and prevents discrimination. Getting rid of these desires, the restlessness of heart can then be conquered and gotten rid of. Habits of attractions and repulsions. This is where self-awareness would come. If we could go back to emotional intelligence module and talk about emotional self-awareness there, it could lead us to here, which could help us become purified, which could help us in process of purification in our, again, real day-to-day interactions. Mind is also plastic. And we can use this plasticity to mold mind towards accepting whatever higher consciousness brings down for us, even if contrary to our ideas. Even if it's contrary to our feelings or desires, the greater the plasticity in any part of the nature, less the resistance is going to be. What is highlighted here is the adaptability, again, which goes back to emotional intelligence module in self-regulation. Are we adaptable enough to accommodate people around us, to accommodate different situations and expected around us? Rejection of the desire mind, best done by detachment of Purusha from the thought and opinion. I am not this and I am not that. I'm not the thought, nor I am the thinker. I'm not these ideas, I'm not these opinions, strivings of the intellect, its predilections, preferences, dogmas, and doubts. I'm none of that. It's all the working of Prakriti. If we could keep this awareness in a consciousness in our daily life while conducting all our businesses, personal or professional, thus creating a divide between the mind that serves Purusha and the mind that thinks and will, Prakriti. One sees, understands the processes and laws of thought, but remains detached. This is the way we could exercise self-control, which again goes back to emotional intelligence module of self-management and self-control. It is not suppressing. It is able to discriminate and understand the difference between Purusha and Prakriti and thereby exercise control. Mental expression of self. Mental, vital mind for mind's existence. For mind, existence is consciousness, force, delight. And if these abstractions are experienced as concrete realities, then mind is satisfied of God. Here, awareness, again, when we talk about emotional intelligence, emotional awareness, in terms of awareness of consciousness, acting through all of us, through all the emotions, good and bad. If we could bring ourselves to that station, then mind truly gets satisfied of God. Emotional experience of self through love and emotion, emotional delight, love and delight for self in us, of self in universe, and of self in all. Heart is then satisfied of God. Here, again, if you go back to emotional intelligence module, positive emotions of gratitude, delight, empathy becomes the crux of being able to feel that love. Aesthetic experience of self, beauty, senses, delight, that is created by us or nature. Here, sense is satisfied of the God. Once again, positive emotions of appreciation and gratitude, if we could bring about to experience this from moment to moment, we begin to satisfy the God through our senses then. Physical sense of self, delight in all life formations, its powers, its forces, its energies that operate through us, and body is then satisfied of God. Once again, Positive emotions of appreciation and gratitude plays very crucial role here to be able to satisfy that God in the physicality. Finally, when the true vital comes forward, it is wide and strong, calm and unmoved, powerful warrior for the divine and the truth, repelling all enemies, bringing in true strength and force, opening the vital to the greater consciousness above. And when that happens, when the mind is still, the truth gets her chance to be heard in the purity of the silence. And all the references that I have taken are from Hierarchy of Minds, selection of works of Sri Aurobindo and the Mother by Jyoti and Prem Sobel, Integral Psychology as written by Indra Sen, and Emotional Intelligence as a module suggested by Daniel Goleman. Thank you very much. Is there any discussions or questions that we can take? Yeah, do you want to take it?
Yeah. I'll open the floor for questions. If anybody has any questions for Kavita ji, please ask your questions. Questions? Okay. Okay, so I think we will close the session now because I don't think we have questions from anybody. So I'd like to thank Kavita ji on behalf of Sri Aurobindo Society also, and hand over a small token of appreciation to Kavita ji for taking out time and enlightening us on this interesting topic. Thank you, Kavita ji.
Thank you.
On behalf.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all for being part of this program, and we hope to see you in the next session. So keep an eye out on our communications channels. Thank you very much and have a great day.